Hi guys, Vino here and welcome to this Vino Plonk production. Before I go further into the video, just a little caveat. I have been quite ill, quite sick the last few days. I'm getting over and still am getting over quite a bad cold actually. So if I sound nasally, if there's something wrong with my voice, that's the reason why. But this is the first I've actually felt good enough to actually come record a video for you guys. And the video today is going to be on the Echo Buds Generation 2 or Gen 2. And the reason why I want to make this video, I literally received these maybe half an hour ago, maybe less than that, and I've been giving them a good listening, giving them a good seeing to, so to speak, and I want to make my opinions heard, so to speak. So, I'm a long time user of the original Echo Buds. I think I've had the original Echo Buds for a year, maybe a year and a half now. These are actually an old, now defunct pair that are dead. Unfortunately, they're actually faulty. I was going to send them back to Amazon, but they just refunded me back for what I paid for them, and then just said keep the buds. So we kept the buds. Now I've actually had a second pair of these. My dad has my other pair of my Generation 1 buds, which we've arranged a deal for them. These are actually an old defunct pair, but I'm going to use them as a comparison for this video. So, I want to give my thoughts and opinions on the Echo Buds 1. I have given them in a video before, but I think it's a good idea to round up what I think about the Echo Buds Gen 1, and then we'll move on to the Gen 2. So, my initial impression with the Buds, which this particular unit, or units if you want to count it as multiple units, I have here, was not very positive. Within about a month of owning the Buds, there started becoming this screeching noise, this feedback in my right ear, I seem to remember. And going on multiple forums, it seemed it was actually fairly common. This was happening throughout the place. Some people were able to disable some of the features and it was able to rectify itself. There's a thing you can do where you tap each bud 5 different times to reset them. You put them back in the box. You press and hold that for 15 seconds, I think it is, the button. An orange light will pulse for a few times. And then, of course, you've reset all the buds. That worked for some people. For me, none of that worked. The only thing that worked to fix the issue was to disable everything. So when the screeching first popped up, it was only intermittent. However, when it did pop up, it was actually literally painful to me. It then progressed to the left ear and actually became rather distracting for long periods of time. It then got to the point where it was a permanent feature. It's a bug, not a feature. Sorry, it's a feature, not a bug. That's the phrase. Anyway, so I basically said to Amazon that this isn't on, and they refunded me for these buds and told me to keep them. The irony of it is I then got a second pair of buds for £60. They were doing a deal at the time, and they're normally £120, these are normally, and I got the second lot for £60 because they're currently doing a deal. I actually got those for free as well for reasons I have no idea. I was going through a bit of an issue with Amazon and they were trying to rectify the issue and they accidentally refunded me for the Echo Buds. But anyway, so when I got my second pair of Echo Buds, everything was good, but the only way I could actually use these was by disabling every extra feature. I'm talking about Alexa, I'm talking about the microphones, I'm talking about pass-through, noise reduction, pass-through, everything had to be disabled. I couldn't use any of the extra features. These purely were just a pair of wireless buds, and even then they weren't that brilliant, because when you first put them in your ear, no matter what features you had enabled or disabled, you get that screeching for the first like 3 seconds and it'll go away. Really annoying. So when I got my second pair of Echo Buds, I didn't have any single problem with them, and they've become my go-to pair of earphones to wear out every time I leave the house. Even if it's just to go down to the shop at the end of my road, I will stick these in my pocket, and if I feel like getting them out to listen to a podcast or some music on the way, I will do so. They became a partner to me, for lack of a term, when it came to at work. You know, on lunch, on break, I just stick them in, listen to some YouTube videos or some music or what have you in my own isolated bubble, use the noise reduction, and everything was brilliant. They've been a really good pair, and of course my dad's got that particular pair of earbuds. The only couple of things I will say for me personally when it comes to downsides of the Echo Buds is that the noise reduction sometimes made me feel like I was too boxed in, too closed in, and did make me feel nauseous at times, to the point where I had to either take the earbuds out for a period of time, give my ears time to readjust or what have you. So that could be a personal problem with me, but that's that. The sound was brilliant. I didn't have a problem with them and loved all the different features. Loved using the assistant that I've already named now, but I'm going to not name it now in case it sets any of your assistants off. The Echo Assistant, we'll call it. You know, used all the different features. Loved it to pieces. Then I heard that Amazon were going to release the Echo Buds 2. Just a quick one. The only downside to the Echo Buds 1 is the microphones don't work too well with Discord. More on that in a bit. So, I then heard that Amazon were going to bring out the Echo Buds 2, and I was excited. I wanted to, and I heard that they were better in every single way. They were first launched in the US market, much like the Echo Buds 1. The Echo Buds 1 came to the UK about 3 months later, give or take. The Echo Buds 2, however, took a lot longer to arrive in the UK, almost a year, if I do remember correctly. The reason for that, they were actually withdrawn from sale for a bit. Why? I actually don't know. Both sets of Echo Buds were withdrawn from sale in the UK for a period of time, plus the Echo Buds actually went out of stock completely and are no longer available on the UK Amazon website. So it took a long time for the Echo Buds finally to pop up on the UK Amazon site, and they're finally here. Not only that, when I got these a couple of days ago, when I paid for them, I actually got a good deal for them. I got them for £80 rather than £110. Well, it was because it's part of their Black Friday deal. They actually extended their Black Friday deal an extra day to cover payday for here in the UK. So there you go, managed to get them. So let's move on to the actual Echo Buds. First of all, I really like this unboxing experience. You've got all your literature in there, you got your buds just there, and it's actually a really nice beefy case. It's actually box. It's actually a far beefier box than the first box, if that's something that you're interested in. If we look at the bottom, you are given a USB-C charging cable. Yes, USB-C, that's over the USB Mini. Those on the previous one, you get some different tips and buds. And you get some wing tips as well, which are either for or not for you, depending on your opinion. So that's the unboxing experience. One thing I will say is this book is actually far better than the leaflet that comes with the first generation one. So that's definitely a plus. And the other two bits of leaflets are like things to try out, that sort of thing. So there you go. And the instructions of how to pair them are printed on the inside here, which the pairing process is absolutely sublime. You just open them up, download the Alexa app, sign in with your Amazon profile, you open up the buds until they start blinking blue, and then you open up the Alexa app, and the Alexa app basically takes over and sets them up for you. Once set up, they act just like any truly wireless earbuds, in that you open them, stick them in your ear. As long as you've got Bluetooth enabled on your phone, they'll connect and away you go. It really is that seamless. And one thing I will say is it used to be that Apple was king in that particular category when it came to just pairing the headphones, the earphones, and getting on with your life. I will say when it comes to that kind of integration, these buds have come a very long way. So the first thing you're going to notice is, of course, the case is a lot smaller. It does come with a battery a battery knock, a battery decline, shall we say. So a lot of people complained about the clunkiness of the Echo Buds 1 case. Now, I wasn't personally that, upset over it or that you know, whatever over it. But now looking at the Echo Buds 2 and knowing that the vast majority of all other truly wireless earbuds kind of conform to this, you know, form factor, I can understand why people got a bit peeved. If we then look at the actual buds themselves, you can see them just there. Do the whole YouTube thing. They are actually quite a bit smaller than the Echo Buds 1, and they fit far nicer in the ear. One other thing I will say about these, and I spoke about it in the first part, about the uncomfortableness when it comes to the active noise reduction. I don't think it was just the active noise reduction. Having those in my ears for about half an hour to an hour, I can say that maybe it was these were a bit uncomfortable over a certain amount of time, whereas I can see these becoming invisible, as they say. I'm not going to take them out the box, necessarily out of the charging case, but obviously they do come out. They have magnets. One other thing I would say is these are far easier to get in and out. The problem with the first generation buds is that sometimes locating the magnet of where to put the bud back on there is sometimes a bit, there we go, a bit cumbersome, as you can see there. Whereas on the second gen, they're actually a far better fit, so to speak, inside the case, so they're far easier to get back in. So, and then we move on to the other thing, which is, of course, in there they'll take USB-C up from USB Mini, which is brilliant, means I've got to bring an extra cable into work if I want to charge them. And also there's actually lights on the inside now denoting the charge of the actual buds themselves. So they're 21% smaller. They also have a vent on the side of the actual buds themselves that help with that isolating feeling I was having with the first buds. And I can say that the pass-through mode on this and the noise cancellation is an upgrade from the reduction. The first one sounds a lot more natural to me. It doesn't sound robotic or tinny, or doesn't sound like you're listening through a electronic device. It sounds like you got some hearing aids on or something. It sounds really good in my opinion. Some people have said it sounds quieter and softer than the Echo Buds 1. Yes, it does, but to me it sounds more natural. So I've spoken about the form factor, the buds themselves. Let's go through some tech specs and then let's go to what they sound like, because that's what you're all here for, is to hear what they actually sound like. So I think they're IPX4 resistant, which basically makes them sweat resistant, makes them rain resistant, so you can go jogging in them, you can work out in them. If a rainfall happens, they're not going to bug your earphones. That's a good one. When it comes to charging, the buds themselves can go for 5 hours. The case can go for 15 hours. So with the buds fully charged and the case fully charged, you get about 20 hours of playback throughout the day. That's down from the original Echo Buds. I can't remember, I think these going for 20-25 hours, whereas these are 15. So it is a reduction, and that's because of the smaller form factor with the case. For some people that's either a good or bad thing. For me, it is what it is. I can just take a USB-C cable into work if I need to, because that's where I'm primarily going to use these. And if the case ends up running out of juice, I can just stick it in and charge them via that for a bit. So that doesn't bother me. You can slot them into here for 15 minutes, which gives the buds a 2-hour charge. Now, back when I used to work nights at work, when I used to use these, how can I put this? I used to think that a 2-hour quick, like, charge and go was too little. Actually, it's about the right amount, to be completely honest. So the fact you can stick them in there for 15 minutes and you got a 2-hour charge is good. I think they take an hour to fully charge the 5-hour charge. Okay, so I think that's all of the specs I can think of off the top of my head. Now on to what they sound like. So, sample songs that I used for this. The very first song that I happened to use was Rainbow in the Dark, Corey Taylor's version of Rainbow in the Dark. Straight away, the bass just punches straight in. You hear Corey Taylor's vocals come screaming through the bass, and it all sounds fantastic. It's all separated properly. I do like my music particularly bass heavy. I do have the equalizer set on these particularly bass heavy, so I was expecting the bass to be pretty heavy, but even with the bass pretty heavy, yeah, even with the bass pretty heavy, I can still hear Corey Taylor's vocals pretty damn clearly. And I've completely forgotten the second song that I listened to at the time. I'd have to look that up later. It was another Corey Taylor song, but this particular Corey Taylor song wasn't as bass heavy or guitar heavy or drum heavy as the one before, and you could really hear Corey Taylor's vocals in that particular track. You could really hear his distinct gruffness of his voice, and the instruments sort of took a step back from Corey's vocals, and his vocals were front and centre. The next song I listened to was Dumb Ways to Die, or Dumbest Ways to Die by Tangerine Kitty, a song that I do quite enjoy, and wonderful, absolutely wonderful. Tangerine Kitty's the lead vocalist, who I've completely forgotten their name right now. Their vocals shine through. You've got the lovely melody in the background. It's a lovely song to listen to anyway. And one thing I began to notice, especially with the next song I'm about to bring up, is the fatigue was not there. The next song I listened to was Windrose's version of Diggy Diggy Hole, another song I do like to listen to. A very, very bass heavy song. When it first punches through with its bass, when the song first starts, it really gets you riled up. But one thing I would like to say, I was not fatigued by that bass. My ears did not feel sore or what's the word, or fatigued. I can't think of the word. Like, normally when there's a really bassy, like, heavy song played on the original Echo Buds, it would fatigue my ears quite easily. Nope, I was quite easy and happy to actually listen to Diggy Diggy Hole for a second time, just to make sure that what I was listening to was correct. If you couldn't tell from what I'm saying, I think these are actually really good. There are some songs in which, yes, the mix doesn't work properly. Either that particular song is not mixed well for these headsets. They're not flat EQ headset, although there is an EQ, an equalizer on the Alexa app that you can use to fiddle around the settings. On default settings, they're not flat, which means they're not gonna cope with every single song necessarily, but get the right song, get the right settings, and get the right fit in your ear. There's actually when you first set them up, there's a sizing guide that you go through. When all of that is all set up and good, you are good to go. They are actually phenomenal. They sound quite a bit better than the Echo Buds 1. The noise cancellation is a step up from the noise reduction. Yes, the pass-through doesn't let through as much audio as the first ones, but it sounds a lot more natural to me. It doesn't sound like I'm listening, like not hearing other people speak through microphones, which is what I felt with the first one, or myself speaking through a microphone, whereas with these, they sound more like human beings, which to me is a plus. I've only been using them for about half an hour to an hour, so I will come back in a couple of days' time and give you my final opinions, so to speak, on the Echo Buds 2. But I'm glad I went for them. Basically, I was wondering whether it was a good idea to go for them. I'm glad, I went for them, and they're definitely going to be my new companion when it comes to, just stick them in the pocket and they're ready to go. And that's what wireless buds are to me. They are just, you stick them in the pocket and they are ready to go whenever you want to listen to music, watch a video, watch a movie, whatever it may be. They're there to go. I did listen to a podcast for a bit with them, and again, the vocals really do sing for these. They are good with vocals, I will say that. Even the original ones were pretty good with vocals. So yeah, I give them a recommendation. You can get them on a payment plan, which is how I actually got them. Obviously depends on the status of your Alexa. Why did I say Alexa? Sorry, your Amazon profile an account, depends on the status of that, whether you can go through with that, but you can get them on a payment plan, which does make them a less of a bitter pill to swallow if you can't afford the £109 or the £120 upfront. They do come in two different flavours, either a wired charge case or a wireless charge case. The wireless charge case is a bit more expensive. These retail for £109, which is actually down from the £119.99 these retail for. But yeah, I think for bang for buck, these are really good set of headphones, and they're up there with the likes of AirPods and what's the other contender that my brain's not thinking of right now. I'm just going to say AirPods for now. They're up there with the likes of those. So until next time, guys, please take care, and as always, enjoy the rest of your day. Ta-ra.